Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it's your boy Mr. Box Office from Mr. Box Office TV, back with another show for you today. And Tottenham Hotspur are moving mad. Moving mad. Signings like now, getting over the line, here we go from Fabrizio Romano and David Ornstein, Savinho coming to Spurs. And very close now, MARMOUSH. And also could happen, GAKPO. But one thing I will say, I ain't excited. I ain't excited about those signings right now. And I'll talk about it. Also on the show, Tottenham Hotspur have got a game coming up tomorrow because there is the start of the Premier League. We've already had one game already where Coventry have given an example what a promoted team shouldn't do against the champions, the champions of the Premier League, the defending champions, Arsenal. And we've got the game against Brentford, and I'm going to give you my thoughts on that coming as well on the show. Also on the show today, next on the show as well, Tottenham Hotspur are making some sales. Because the last time we did a video on this channel, it was a Vicario at Tottenham, Romero was at Tottenham, and Jed Spence was at Tottenham. Well, they're no more at the moment. They're gone. They're disappeared. And Tottenham Hotspur have sold players as well. And also on the show, discussing on the show today as well, on your boy, Mr. Box Office, yes. Yeah, Box Office, yeah. Is De Zerbi the man to get us really causing some problems for the Premier League? Is he going to hit it by storm? Because I don't think Tottenham Hotspur fans are actually talking about what really we need to talk about. Is De Zerbi the hype that he is really been hyped up to be? Or has he shown his cards already to the Premier League? And has it shown too much to the Premier League and they've sussed him out? We'll discuss it all on this show. So welcome back to the show, like everybody. I know it's been a long time. It's been a minute since I've done a live. But like you know me all day long, every single day, you know what to do in the chat. If you want to get my attention, you know what to do. Because you know what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep on talking. And that's how we do it on this channel. So welcome to the show. And let's get straight into it. And the first thing we need to talk about, and the only thing we need to talk about, is Savinho. Savinho being given the here we go by Fabrizio Romano earlier today. And unfortunately not ready to play for us tomorrow against Brentford, not even though I don't even rate him right now, but that's another story. But with the here we go from Fabrizio Romano for Savinho, now it looks like now we've got our left winger that we've been looking for so long now. We've been looking for very actively getting him in since last year. It's like you've been suing a lady and you've been suing him for so long, trying to do the effort, putting all the stops out, but you couldn't just get the job done. You couldn't get it done at all. And then either so happened you got lucky because that person didn't want that. Well, he wanted to get away. He wanted to get away from that person that he was in relationship with. And then the opportunity snapped. And it was only because that person was twerking for that, to get away from that person so much. We've got the opportunity that we got to, and now we've got it done at last. Even though now, and I'm not really too excited about it. And now looking at it now, it's now time for Savinho to really show what he's all about. Where he was at Girona, in Spain. Because is he really has he really set anything alight since he's been at Man City? If I'm really answering the question, no. Why I can't get excited by him, really, to be honest with you. He's one of those guys that, yeah, he looks good on the eye. He's got all the dribbling ability. I can't compare him to Ronaldo, but Ronaldo back in the day, he had those dribbling ability when he was at Manchester United, but he wasn't clinical enough. He didn't have that edge. He had an edge, but he just didn't have that clinical edge to get him over that line to scoring those goals. It looked pretty. It looked pretty on the eye, but it just didn't go about to goals or assists or anything like that at all. And that was a problem. This is a problem with Savinho for me. And this is why now I think we're at Tottenham now. He's got the opportunity to prove some people wrong. Prove some people wrong that this is now the time for his time now at the moment. And is it his time to really shine in that sense? Is he got the time to shine? And with the opportunity now of, and I don't like talking about injured players right now, but especially someone that is going to be here next year, fit next year, Xavi Simons, the possibility of one player coming in that he used to play with in Holland as well. It does look like this is a really massive coup for Tottenham if we can get it right. If we can get it right now for us. And yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens with him. But I stick by what I say. And if you watch my best, worst, and bang average top 5, which will be back soon on the channel, soon, I still think he's our worst signing of the summer. I've got to be honest, because of the numbers. I know people are overhyping him because they say that they like him and because people are getting emotional about it. But again, it goes back to the whole thing. He needs to prove me wrong. I see the whole thing about the deal of £85 million, or 75, and then £10 million of add-ons. I see it. It's more to the fact that we're paying more money because they can't get the money for Omar Mamouche, and they don't want to go over the asking price. They don't want to go over the set price that they have for him. So I see the logic of what they're doing, and so really, if you put it all together, we'll get onto Omar Mamouche in a bit. It's going to be kind of a £150, 150 million at a push double deal. That's what we're looking at right now. We're looking at that. So if you're looking at it like that, you have to do what you need to do. But I mean, we'll pause on the whole Savinho thing now. We'll go on to Omar Mamouche. Now, Omar Mamouche, though, even though he's definitely better than what we've got right now, or he's 10 times better than what we've got right now in Solanke, Tell, and Richarlison. We still, he's much better than what we've got right now up front right now. Currently at the moment, we're looking at. But again, you don't get let go by Man City. I know Man City have got a lot of good players to compete with. He's got Savinho to compete with, Doku to compete with, Foden, and obviously Haaland up front as well. But my question to Omar Mamouche, even though you didn't do too badly last season, it was just that you had a lot of competition for your place. Why is it that you couldn't handle it too much at Man City? And why do you want out so early when you had the opportunity to stay at Man City and fight for your place? He's got now the opportunity at Tottenham to prove himself. And yeah, you can look at the outside of things and say you're getting a quality player in Omar Mamouche, someone that can really advance in your team right now, someone that can really move the needle for Tottenham right now. And I have to really, really make the point about this right now. We really do need them to perform. We really do need them to perform, because I know people are talking a lot and saying we're going to dominate. And I'm saying at the moment, with the squad that we're putting together right now, especially in the midfield and defence, there is no excuses that we can't get into Europa League next season. 110%. I don't see any reason why we can't get top 7 this year. With all the things that I've said as well, and it's funny now that people copy the main event, but again, I'll get onto that in a bit, because I think everybody knows where I'm going to go with this. Everybody knows where I'm going to go with this. But my point is right now is that we need them to perform, because especially with Omar Mamouche, he's got all the qualities now to dominate that team. But let's be honest here. Let's really be honest with us Tottenham fans. We only going back to what we should have been doing a long time ago. We used to do this on the regular. On the regular. You know, we used to go this on the regular when we were talking about when we had Robbie Keane. When we had Robbie Keane, we had Defoe. We brought in Defoe. We brought in Freddie Canute. I mean, we had Teddy Sheringham back in the day as well. You know, we had the likes of, you know, we had Les Ferdinand back in the day when we were fighting relegation. And that was back then when we were like really mid-table sort of, you know, club. We were, you know, we weren't really competing really that time. I mean, we had Gareth Bell back then, but Gareth Bell was starting. That was it. And you know, we had. I mean, we had Peter Crouch back in the day. We had. I mean, we had some good, solid strikers. Good, solid strikers. So really, we're only going back to what we used to do back then. Pavlichenko, even though he didn't really start really well. Postiga. Those sort of players. Those sort of players. So when we're looking at Omar Mamouche, he's just another solid striker. Another solid striker that we should be looking at. We should have been looking at a long time ago. But because we've been looking at the young sort of striker, like the young sort of wingers, like now Tell, Alderbear, you know, the understudies. This is where we're going. We just don't know. This is what happens. This is what happens. We're not used to going for those sort of players. We're not used to going for those sort of players before, because we used to do it before we went for those youngsters. But now we're going back to what we should have been doing a long time ago. And at the age that now Omar Mamouche is, who's in his prime, I should expect him to do well for Tottenham and hit the ground running straight away. No excuses. Make me excited. Because at the moment, all I've got is, you know, I've seen at Man City, great, good, cool, great. Come and do it at Tottenham now. make me excited because I'm struggling. I've been struggling the last couple of years. I have been struggling right now. And that's the thing. And this is why I'm saying I'm not excited right now. Great. We've got the signing in. Great. We could be, well, he hasn't been completed yet, but from what we're saying from the journalists, multiple journalists now, it's only a matter of time before this deal gets done. So now we've got MARMOUSH, we've got Savinho, we could possibly get GAKPO in. Now it's now time for you to light up Tottenham Hotspur now, because we will need them moving forward. Yes, this is the best season right now. We've got the best advantage this season to do well this season. With all the things that are happening with other teams, we'll go into that in a little bit. But to help De Zerbi, yet we're going to have more of the ball. But with what he's done before at Brighton and at Marseille, teams know exactly what De Zerbi's all about. Having more of the ball, great. Having more possession, great. Getting into the final third, great. But then it's about being clinical. It's about using the moments you've got and taking them. And that's why the attack is the most important thing right now for us to actually get some results right now. Actually get somewhere right now. Because if you don't have that attack, great football we're going to have. Great. But if you don't take your chances, we'll be even more unstuck. And I don't think we're going to be in the trouble that we were in back last year. No, I don't. But I do think if the attackers, if we don't score goals, that will be more of undoing this season than the defence. Just another take, another theory, because that's what I'm doing here. That's what I'm doing here. If you go and listen to The Athletic, he goes and run down a lot of things about De Zerbi's tactics. The fact that he wants to try and bring the attack, the opposition on him, and they're playing through the press. The fact now they're going to focus on the wide areas rather than looking at the centre. And I think now the wide areas are so important. That's why I think Horo is looked as someone that's going to be important to De Zerbi right now. Where I think the Dojis might be very, very important right now for us. And where Tonali and Fernandez will be very important for us because they'll be more the covering of those wide players while they go on and try and attack the opposition. I'm trying to think of an analogy, but I can't think of one right now. But I'm just thinking right now, I think that's what De Zerbi is what he's going to try and do. And then really it's for the attackers to really be clinical in those moments to punish the opposition. Because if you don't have that, I think we're going to be unstuck, even with one game a week. Even with one game a week. Now, I'm being positive. I've said that we're going to give some teams a run for their money because of what they've had to endure during this transfer window, and the transfer window being very much an advantage for Tottenham right now. But this is why I'm saying that MARMOUSH and Savinho will have to perform. There's no excuses. The attack will have to perform. Because if they don't perform, that's where we're going to be in trouble this season. That's where we're going to be in trouble this season. I just particularly, I just have to say that. That's for me. That is just for me. I have to be honest. That is for me. £150 deal, £1 million deal for Savinho and MARMOUSH. And there's not going to be any hiding for these two. Let's be honest here. There's not going to be any hiding for these two whatsoever right now. I have to be honest. You know, because if they don't perform, it will be some massive questions. And it's going to be the detriment of Roberto De Zerbi as well. Because, you know, he hasn't got a leg to stand on. He has not got a leg to stand on. That's it for me anyway. But if you look at the two individuals, I've got to be honest, it is a good deal for Tottenham Hotspur. But it's only going back to what we used to do with like the likes of Peter Crouch, the likes of Defoe, Jermaine Defoe, the likes of Canute, you know, Mido back in the day as well, Robbie Keane. Those are the sort of strikers we're bringing in. And we stopped doing that sort of quality. And it's exciting, but again, it's for them to give us that quality, get us off our feet. I know it's all about team, pressing. I know it's all about that right now. I know the game's changed. I know you have to let go of the memories, but back then, you know, sometimes you want to, you know, I like the 90s. I like the 90s music. I like the 90s. I like that sort of music. But unfortunately, the music, that sort of music's back then now. It's done with now. It's more different music now, more music genre now, different music genres now. So this is where we're at the moment. This is where we're at the moment in terms of bringing in these players right now. And unfortunately, we're not going to see some of the players. Well, we're not going to see Savinho, definitely not tomorrow, because it's quite clear that we're not going to have that right now. But this is where I'm feeling at the moment. This is why I'm not so excited at the moment about these players coming in. I need them to show me now. You know, Tottenham Hotspur, and this is the last thing I'll say on this at the moment, are one of those teams again, and someone put it really good on Instagram. Not that I'm on Instagram, but it's none of your business if it was. Well, if Alex was. But more to the point, he summed up Tottenham. If Tottenham was a man and a woman was looking for a man, Tottenham have got all the potential in the world. All the potential in the world. They've got the suits, they've got the job, they've got the money, they've got the car, they've got the Ferrari, they're popular, but they always let you down. The worst thing is they always seem to somehow let you down. And the moment when you need them the most, they always let you down. It's a feeling I know so well. But this just sums up Tottenham. And it's a hope that really just disappoints you, isn't it, really? That's the thing. But we have an opportunity this season. Because it really fast tracks me to saying this at the moment, because we're running through the subjects right now very, very quickly right now. And the segments right now. So you have to keep pace with me right now. That now we're in this opportunity space now with the signs we've got. And the opportunity we have is the fact that the new rules of the squad cost ratio with the Premier League right now, you can see now we've got an advantage right now over other teams now because of what we've done in the past. Whoever you want to credit that to, who's been the previous chairman, which I don't really want to go on to right now because he's one of the reasons why football's been dead at Tottenham as well. So, you know, it's each to their own, really. And I want to get back to actually talking about football then rather than talking about what's going on behind the scenes. But we've got the best opportunity right now. We've got a very, very good opportunity right now to really to get to really bring get the cause the Premier League by storm. Let's just say, really get the Premier League by storm. We really do, and it's not. When you have an advantage like that, you've got to take it. One game a week. And lots of teams who've got lots of things going on. Lots of teams. Like the fact that Man City have got a new manager in transition. And they're selling and starting again the team. Liverpool still got a lot to go, lot to do at the moment. A lot to do at the moment, still at the moment. You got Man United, who have got all the, they've got a lot of games to play with a manager that is not experienced in that sort of field right now. Yes, he's been experienced in other teams, yes, in the Championship, yes, but not in this situation. Chelsea are going to be a problem this season. You can talk about the manager not being experienced in the Premier League, but he's gone off and won other places. So I do look at it. I look at it right now. I have to be honest that Chelsea are going to be competing. And if they're not competing, Alonso's going to be in big trouble. Alonso will be in massive trouble because you don't have that reputation preceding you and then sitting there saying, well, it's okay to just not fail at Chelsea with one game a week. They got standards. So that you've got to take them seriously. I think they're going to be in the same situation as Tottenham with the signs they made. 110%. If they don't get into top four with the advantage they've got and the money they've got and the reputation they've got, there's no way he's getting away with it. No way. So they're going to be dangerous this season. 110%. Now we go into somebody else. I've got to go into somebody else. And it's not good that I'm bantering them because let's be honest here, last season was a great season for them, an achievement which Tottenham Hotspur would dream of doing. Winning Europa League and getting into top four. Let's just say that right now. But Aston Villa. Now, I bantered one Aston Villa fan. I bantered him. And he don't like it. Saying you're selling players still, aren't you? And yeah, the excuses I've heard from Aston Villa is that the players they're selling are getting older. So that's why they're selling them. But they're still their top players. There's the players that they depend on. And now they're changing it up and bringing in other players as well. So I'm looking at that and thinking, and with the fact that they've got problems with the squad cost ratio as well, well, what do you expect? I'm going to look at them and think, and looking at the fact that Tottenham Hotspur, and like I said, I think we joke about it. We can joke about it how much we want, but really, to be honest with you, they should have just got us relegated. They should have relegated us. They should have relegated us to the Championship because 17th twice in a row, and we're able to spend the money we're spending right now, and Aston Villa have to sell their players. I'll get on to Newcastle in a bit. But with them selling players and having to buy players as well, that's going to cause a lot of disruption. You want to keep the same squad for next season, wouldn't you? So I have to look at my man. I've got to look at my ops. They call them, they say, it's a cool thing to say now. I need to look at my ops and say, my rivals. I need to look at my rivals and say, rival team Aston Villa, and say, we can compete with them. They've got Champions League next season. Well, this season now. So they've got to cope with that. Cope with multiple competitions as well. Losing Konsa. Losing Morgan Rogers. Losing Tillemans. Losing their left back. So it's like I said, there's a lot to say. There's a lot there that they've had to cope with. They've had to do it twice in a row as well. So for me, we can go at Aston Villa this season. They can prove me wrong. I'm not gonna put any bets in there. I'm not putting any bets in there whatsoever. Because I know somebody put a bet in earlier today, and I was like, okay, maybe not. I wouldn't be flexing my muscles that quickly. I wouldn't be flexing my muscles that quickly on that one. But, you know, I would say at the moment, yeah, that we can definitely compete with them. You have to say now, also on the subject of teams that are not doing, not done too well in terms of because of the rules right now, we move on to Newcastle. Now, Newcastle lost Tonali to us, lost Gomeres, lost Gordon, getting rejected left, right, and centre, bringing young players to replace them. You can look at them and say, they're in turmoil. They lost their manager in Eddie Howe, who's left, walked out the club, brought in another manager, inexperienced manager, young manager as well. Interesting manager as well. Very interesting manager, I have to say. But it's one of those things where, you know, it is what it is, really. But yeah, it's one of those things, really. And I have to say this, it's one of those things where you're sitting there thinking, wow. A lot of change. For a manager that really, let's be honest here, a team really that had a lot of turmoil last season, even though, it could have been a successful season, even though the previous season was really successful for them, Champions League, and getting a trophy as well. Something, again, Tottenham have not done. So, again, well done to them, Newcastle, back then. But it wasn't a good season for them last season. And they were in big trouble last season, weren't they? So, for me, again, looking at them right now, we can definitely compete with them. I don't see them as trouble, and they can cause a surprise. I hope they do. I hope they do. I hope they do cause a surprise. I really do. Cause us trouble. I really do. Prove teams wrong. I hope they do. But looking at it from logically at the moment, they're going to be in trouble this season. Then we look at Bournemouth in Europe with a new manager. Brighton in Europe in the Conference League. Not one game a week. Fulham, new manager. If you saw the Arsenal game against Coventry, absolutely got thrashed Coventry. Let's be honest here, Coventry didn't really help themselves. Let's be honest here. Frank Lampard didn't learn from his first experience. Don't go and try and attack Arsenal. Actually try and keep it tight and actually try and, keep it tight and not letting a lot of, give them too much away. But they gave a goal away so easily, and it was only going to be one way after that. But Coventry, Hull, Ipswich. I mean, the other team we can look at is Nottingham Forest because they've got a new manager in Glasner. They've got one game a week. And Glasner's very good at getting good best out of his team. But again, you don't know. You really don't know. And that's why I think Tottenham Hotspur have got a great opportunity right now. But before we get into anything else, well, thank you to everybody watching. And welcome to everybody who's watching, who's just came in. Well done. And please like and subscribe to the channel. We have got a super chat from Mia from Tottenham Lone Wolf. Big up to you. A £2 super chat. Really appreciate that. Really do appreciate that. With the, I think it's a cherries. I think it's a cherries and a clap and a pie. But thank you. I really appreciate that. That £2 super chat. Really do appreciate that right now. Big up to everybody who's watching right now, who's staying tuned as well. Big up to you. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I know that it's a few of you just come in at the moment as well. I know there's one cheeky comment saying, what are you actually talking about? I'm actually saying what I'm saying really at the moment. I'm saying to you at the moment that the signings right now, really in context, yes, they should make me excited. But at the moment, when I'm looking at the signings right now, I want them to prove themselves right now. I need them to get me off my seat. I'm when you look at these signings on the outside, yes, they should get me excited. But really, to be honest with you, I need them to go at the stadium and actually set a marker down. Because I think it's now time for our forward line. Because since Harry Kane and Son, and I wasn't really fascinated by those teams anyway, I've not really enjoyed our front line. Our front line just have been flattered to deceive. I've got to be honest. And I think the front line really do need to step up this season. I really do. The fact that we've got that below average Emil Heskey, and you know who I'm talking about, aka Richardson's in my team, and he's going to be probably playing tomorrow in the starting lineup. I'm beside myself. I'm beside myself right now because why should I have to put up with that after how many years of watching this guy being pathetic? But it's quite falls nicely. It falls nicely because I'm not going to talk too much about Richarlison because we've spoken about him for how many years now. I think we need to talk about really the new era of Tottenham Hotspur, and that new era may include and could include Cody GAKPO. And it does look like this deal is still possible. Still. A lot of the journalists are saying that there is a possibility that this could happen right now with Cody GAKPO. And to be honest with you, even though I called him bang average in my top 5, I still said he could improve our team. He could improve our team. He will definitely improve our team. He definitely improves our front line. Another player that would definitely improve our front line by looking at the players that we've got right now who are just who they are. Enough said. So it does show you where we are at the moment, really. And I think it's just how the way that we play him is going to be very interesting. He definitely is a winger that is going to go in and try and, come inside, cut inside, and he's going to be the guy that's really going to take a lot of opportunities. Whether he's going to be clinical enough, it's proven in the past that he has been in the past. But I do think he just needs a club just to bang, just to pop, basically. Maybe pop is a better term. But I think this is where I think with GAKPO on the side, and then you got Savinho, who has played with him before. Then you've got Jan van Heck as well. Then you've got Robertson, who can come in as well. Andy Robertson, the Brussels sprout. That, to explain to certain people that don't understand what I'm talking about, he doesn't excite me like Brussels sprouts. He doesn't fill me up with joy like taste of Brussels sprouts. But in the end, Brussels sprouts are very good for you. And maybe Andy Robertson will be very good for us in the end because of its experience. That's really it, really. So this is the thing. I think this is where I am with Andy Robertson would be in the team as well. So he would be useful as well as he played with Cody Gakpo as well. So you can see there is connection between some of these players that we're bringing in. So there is somewhere along the line, somewhere we can. There's a puzzle, and we're creating triangles. We are creating triangles just by the fact that we are doing what we are doing. Bringing in these players that have got Premier League experience, but also play with those players that are in the squad right now. So ending up bringing the connection to the players. That's the thing. So for me, this is where I think this is where the connection is. And this is where I'm looking at De Zerbi with everything he's got at the moment and thinking this is where you've got a Cody Gakpo. Now you need to work on the chemistry of the team and putting this all together. And this is the opportunity this season to do that. And with that, maybe Cody Gakpo will have the opportunity to pop. Like MARMOUSH will be able to pop. Because MARMOUSH is coming in with Savinho that he's just played with as well. They've got a relationship already as well. Then you've got Cody Gakpo that can come in. He's already got a relationship with Jan van Heck. Van der Ven, now the captain. Another thing we can discuss as well on the show. Then you've got Savinho as well. You got Kudos, which I don't really want to talk about because he's still not fit. But, it is what it is. So you can see the puzzle is starting to connect. And this is where I think Cody Gakpo might be very useful. Very useful in the end. I think that's where we're looking at the moment. And I think with the three of them, you're now looking at quite a tasty front three. And you've not even got the fact that you haven't got Kudos back. You ain't got Maddison back. So this is the thing. This is where we're at the moment. This is where we're at. And I think this is where I think Tottenham Hotspur need to improve on that right now. I think this is where we're going to have to, this is where the proof will be in the pudding. This is where the points. This is where the proof will be in the pudding with these strikers, and I think it's been interesting because I have the ITKs at the moment are been very fierce. There's been wars between the ITKs. Who's been right? Who's been wrong? Who's been indifferent? It's been like a WWE wrestling or boxing match between the two ITKs. You can see it. They're all fighting each other. All fighting each other and boxing each other to try and say that I'm making the right point. I'm right. I'm wrong. You're wrong. I'm right. You're wrong. You're right. I'm right. You're wrong. To me, to you. It's like a comedy. It's like a comedy show with these ITKs. But it does put a story out right now that Tottenham Hotspur, especially with De Zerbi, and if you heard his press conference today, he was not happy. He was not. I wouldn't say he was not happy. I think that's the wrong term. He said, "We're not finished." And one thing I will give him credit for, he's been very consistent. He said, "We're not finished. The transfer window is not finished. Not finished. That's it. Simple. Not finished at all." And I think those words were very scaling, really, right now. He wasn't. Oh no, we're not at that stage where Conte was going to have his run. We're not at that stage yet. We're not at that stage yet at all, because I think you can see that it's early stages. He's still got the buzz. He's still got the energy right now. You can see it. You can see it for himself. He's still got the energy right now. But it's quite clear that he wants to go big this season. He wants to go big this season. And there's no excuses now. There's no excuses whatsoever. So we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. But on Cody Gakpo, he's another one. Coming from Liverpool, had an all right season last season. I think there's, I think Liverpool is a very tough club to please, really. If you either get to your heart, but even, if the fan base is against you, they make it known. They make it known. They're very harsh. Team that have Spenton. They're expectant. They're expectant of success. They're used to players having standards. Used to having players having standards. When Tottenham Hotspur fans or us, I'm not expecting. We haven't had those standards for so long. No, we haven't had those standards for so long. Even when we won the Europa League, the standards were low. Were very low. Very low. Because we let the Premier League go so badly. So with Cody Gakpo, knowing those standards, he's coming in. He would come in and hopefully lift those standards. MARMOUSH would lift those standards. That's the same thing with the likes of Savinho, hopefully. But again, that's another proof as well, to be honest with you. That's going to be proof in the pudding as well. But that's the way I look at it at the moment. That's the way I look at it. I think it's only about that for me, that Savinho, these strikers have to lift the standards of Tottenham Hotspur, because since Harry Kane has left, and Harry Kane had to leave for his own good, our standards have gone so low. I mean, we all complained about Son. I know Son was going downhill, and we should have, you know, let him go sooner, 100%, and looked to try and replace him as soon as possible. But we went down the wrong route doing that. But, you know, the standards is just so low. And, you know, now we're going back to the standards of what we were doing back in 2000s, 1998. Getting actually players that actually were very good, you know, actually were solid players, quality players that actually could find the net or do something proper players with experience. And this is where it's all about them right now. Because, like I said, I do think we're going to struggle. This is going to be a harsh reality first part for us. I don't think tomorrow is going to be a very easy game. I think we're going to take a bit of a time to get into this season. I've got to be honest. Because I've heard some scores about the Brentford game. We'll get into that in a bit. Keep liking and subscribe to the channel, by the way. And if you do want to get, like I said in the chat, because I'm here just talking. I'm just here talking. You wanted the main event. You wanted the main event. You wanted Mr. Box Office. I know people say you don't want Mr. Box Office, but unfortunately, like someone said to me, I don't really give a monkeys because you're still going to get the box office. So what are you going to do about it? So like, you know, you wanted the box office, you wanted Mr. Box Office to do more content. You got content for you. So what are you going to do? So be happy that you're getting content right now, and you're getting live and direct at Mr. Box Office playground. You're getting him. So you're getting him on his own, and I'm talking. So you're getting my thoughts, and nobody is interrupting. Yeah, I'm not giving you no graphics. No, I'm not. At the moment, that's where things will improve, hopefully. But you know your boy has got a life. You get what I'm saying? But you're still getting him. But moving straight on, because we'll get onto that later on, maybe towards the end of the show when we wrap up. I mean, like I say, De Zerbi football, I think we're going to have a bit of a rude awakening at the moment. I think we're going to have a slow start. I think we're going to definitely have a slow start for me. And again, it's what I watched from this guy from The Athletic kind of made me realize that maybe I've looked a bit too ahead of myself and said, yeah, we're going to smash it very early on. I don't think we are going to do that. I really don't. And I think you can see that I don't think you can see that we're not going to do that right now, because yes, we got the midfield, we got part of the defense. Yeah, we'll get on that to a bit. We'll need to keep on topic here. But what I'm saying is at the moment is I think really for me, because the strike force is not in right now, the forwards are not in. And even even if they got Premier League experience and they do need to hit the ground running, it'd be very unrealistic of me to say it's going to hit the ground, it's going to hit very straight away. It never normally does that. It never normally does that. So this is where I'm a bit like, don't know. I don't think Tottenham are going to hit the ground running straight away. I think we're going to have a slow start, which is not a problem. Which is not a problem, to be honest with you, because if we cast our mind back to Bournemouth 2 years ago, to Aston Villa last season, Aston Villa didn't start very well last season. Remember, there was question marks and they weren't creating a lot as well. If you remember, they weren't creating a lot at all. At all. But towards the later part of the season, then they started to cook. You started to see them starting growing into getting better and better and better and better and better. And then they had the season that they had. And yeah, they had some stumbling blocks. They did. 100% they did. But they ended up where they ended up, winning Europa League. Bournemouth started well. But towards the middle of the season, they were struggling. And this is where Areola is going to be very interesting at Liverpool, because if he has a sort of season that he had at Bournemouth last season, especially in the middle part of the season, I don't know if Liverpool fans will be happy with that, but it'll be interesting. Will they be patient? But my point is, from all this at the moment, if Tottenham Hotspur starts slow, that's not a concern for me. I think the more important thing right now is getting through August, September, October. Getting through that. And then if you get through that, then we see where we're going with it. And the good thing is we've got one game a week. Now, I'm just hoping those weeks that we're in the training ground, that then we'll see De Zerbi at his best coaching the players. That's what I'm looking at right now. That's what I feel. That's what I'm saying at the moment. But at the moment, that's where I'm at the moment. That's where I'm at. Because I think if we're going to big up, hype up De Zerbi, if we're going to hype him up, if you know what I mean, and say that he's the best coach, one of the best coaches in the Premier League, and compare him, this is where I was like, okay, right, we're talking too much. We're talking too much. And I don't really want to talk too much about other people here, because this is a football chat right now. Because I want to try and change it a little bit, because I don't really watch a lot of channels anymore. I'll be honest with you. I'm only like watching little clips, but I don't really, I only watch the people that invite me, because those are the sort of people that I'm going to interact with. If I'm not invited on certain channels, why should I care about their opinion? It makes no sense to me. It's like looking at an ex-girlfriend. But moving on quickly, because I don't want to forget the point I was going to make. What I'm saying is at the moment is that I feel that with the reputation that precedes Roberto De Zerbi, and we're hyping up so much, it's really time for Tottenham Hotspur and him to prove a point here. And with the squad that he's got, I expect him to get Europa League. And if people say to me I'm going too hard on him, talk to me about Poch's first season with the likes of Capoue, Dyer, Fazio, Lloris, a midfield of, he used to have, I think it was Paulinho. No, is it Paulinho? No, it wasn't Paulinho. No, it was a Brazilian. It was a Brazilian midfielder, but he taken him out. and he put in Mason and Bentaleb. Yeah, Mason and Bentaleb. I think we had Aaron Lennon. I think it was somebody else as well. We had Chadley, Lamella. Lamella wasn't that great. Let's be honest. He was like, he was all right, but he wasn't like, he was getting into it. Let's be honest. Then you had Soldado, who was a good striker, and Adebayor, but Soldado just didn't fit the system that we wanted to play. Wasn't going on a little bit. Soldado wasn't that great. He was only scoring really penalties. Let's be honest here. And then you got Adebayor. That was, let's be honest here. I don't know what. I just saw a comment here from Hotspur Hood, Danny. What do you mean by this? What, you are going a bit rough, Alex. What do you mean by that? Is it the sound? Is it the sound? Because I don't understand what that means anyway. But big up to you. Because I'm just talking here. But I'm just making the point. Pause, Elijah. Good one. That's a good one. But yeah, what I say is that with that team of Poch's team back then, and yeah, we did have Harry Kane. We did have Harry Kane. At the time, we did have Harry Kane. But Harry Kane just came out of luck because the two strikers I've just mentioned weren't great. And, I remember also we had Townsend as well. Andros Townsend. I remember Andros Townsend. And he had a bit of form as well. He got a bit of form. I think it was the season before that. I think it was. He had it. I understand what you're saying, Dan. I understand what you're saying. What do you mean rough on De Zerbi? De Zerbi needs to prove himself. De Zerbi needs to prove himself. We'll discuss it later. Because I wanted to say what I wanted to say anyway. But I hear what Dan's saying, but I'm not emotionally attached to Zerbi. I'm not emotionally attached to Zerbi. I don't think it's expecting too much at all. To be honest with you, if we're gonna hype up De Zerbi as this best coach right now, I think, especially with one game a week, with all the things that happen with other teams, you've even said it yourself, I should expect sixth this season. And the players that we're potentially going to get in, we've got Savinho coming in, we've got MARMOUSH coming in. I mean, I'm sorry, but he's got a better team than what Poch had. Am I wrong or am I right? Am I wrong or am I right now? Because I know you're trying to play this. I know you're trying to be the other, trying to be this devil's advocate guy. I know you're trying to do that. I know that's what you can do. I know you're trying to do that. Yeah, and you're not trying to rattle me right now because I'm in my element right now. I'm in a good time right now. Yeah, I'm having a good time right now. Yeah, but we're not doing this whole thing saying we're hyping up De Zerbi as the best coach going. And he's got a squad like that, better than. And I'm hearing people saying we have the best transfer window. The best transfer window. What you know what I mean? You can't say best transfer window, and then we're seeing like 8th, 9th, 10th. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? But it is what it is. It's what it is. You know what I mean? I don't know what to say really on that, but that's my point. That's my point. It could go right, land on my feet, but also could take 6 to 8 months 8 to 11. Never. Okay, well, I say that's excuses, but anyway, moving on. I knew this is going to come out of Tottenham fans. You know what I mean? Because, like I said, I'm fine with challenging my team. I'm fine with challenging my team. You know what I mean? I don't mind. I don't really care. I don't mind challenging my team. I don't really care anymore. You know what I mean? You know but it's what it is at the moment. But I mean, I know. Dan, he's trying to do the devil's advocate thing. I know he's trying to do that because I know he doesn't believe that. I know he doesn't believe that because I know what he's been saying. Big up to him anyway. Big up to him. I mean, like I said, if you put a comment in, if you want to get my attention, do what Dan's just done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, yeah, keep liking the stream. But like, you know, I'm going to say some big ups. I'm going to have to say some big ups right now. Because I haven't really spoken to anybody in the chat. Big up to Sue Smith, by the way. Big up for your support, by the way. Big up. Looks like you proved me wrong regarding this window. I'm delighted. However, this was a long time coming. Must not be the one-off window. 100% agreed. That's exactly what I've been saying. I knew Spurs fans would, if we do something this transfer window, I knew Spurs fans will all start jumping up and down, and most of them will start talking like they're eating it in. But you know, enough said. I don't want to say too much because I get people upset. Big up to Brian, my boy. Yeah, big up to you, Brian. Big up to you, Brian. Big up to you. Big up to Phil Coys. Big up to you. Don't turn up anymore, Phil Coys. I need to see you more. 3B, big up to you. Let's hear it then. All right, yeah, you heard it. You heard it here first. Best window for years and years and years. Okay, then. If you're gonna say that, Phil Coys, I need to hear your chest saying that we're gonna get top 6 then. Big up to Elijah, main event. Big up to you, yes, 100%, and you know it. Big up to the Kit THFC. Regular football hopefully lift him level we are hoping for. Yeah, I don't know. I think you may be talking about Savinho, because I haven't really been in the chat too much. Out the starting 11 signings, he is the worst out of all of them. I agree. Thank you very much. I know a lot of people don't agree with me, but you know how it is. You know, we have to. You know, they just have to recognise and respect the one. Fight for the place versus Haaland. Yeah, I know it's very difficult. You know what I mean? But if you had anything about you, you would definitely fight with it. Fight your place, even if it was Haaland anyway. But I know Haaland's the top striker. So even though I did call him the above average John Carew at the goals, but you know, that kind of died down, didn't it? Really, it did. It did, didn't it? You get me? You get me? Anyway, moving on. Sorry, because I don't want to embarrass myself on that one. Definitely not. Right, okay. Big up to Phil. I don't know where you are going with this, respectfully, Alex. Well, you should have watched the show. That's just something I want to say on that. You should be watching the show. Honestly, what are we doing here? Savinho creates chances, don't score. Kudos creates chances, don't score. Talani do like the midfielder, not as well score. What the hell are we doing here? Oh, I love that one. Oh gosh, that was a good one. That's a good one. Well, oh gosh, maybe because I should have read this out when I was actually having a rant. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, I have to land. I never get to land, Elijah. Honestly, they don't let me land. You know what I mean? Like I get through half a sentence and I still can't land. You know what I mean? It's like the plane. The plane needs to land, but the amount of times I've stopped to land, the plane doesn't stop. So I can't get to where I want to get to. You get what I'm saying? So what's the point? It's like Tottenham Hotspurs never want to land. actually land to somewhere which is actually worth watching. And hopefully we can do something this season, because it's like we talk and 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 talk, but we don't actually land anywhere. And then I'm told that I need to be positive. But work that one out. Where's the logic in that? Where is the logic in that, boys? Guys and girls and ladies and gentlemen, where's the logic in that? Please tell me. Please tell me. You know what I mean? But anyway, moving on. So I'm ranting too much, like people say. You get what I'm saying? Big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody. Big up to everybody. Do you not like music nowadays, Alex? There's some good stuff out there. Yeah, that's for me to know and you to find out. Because the main event don't really talk about personal stuff. You get what I'm saying? I like to give it a mystery. People find me out. Anyway, moving on. Some good comments in here, to be honest with you. Like you're doing your best these days. Everybody, keep it up. Keep it up. Get my attention. Marmoush was clinical and fire in the Bundesliga. You can do it again. Well, let's hope you can do it, Harold. Be up to you. Hopefully, you can do it, because I'm waiting for a striker to really blow me away right now. Because at the moment, since for a very long time now, I'm told to be blown away. How does that work? Can you tell me? Can you actually tell me how I can get blown away by someone telling me to be blown away? It's like me going to a rock event. I'm not gonna be like, all music in the world is available for everybody. By the way, you can like anything music you want, but I like certain type of music. It just is my type. You get what I'm saying? And I can't do certain other music. It is what it is. You know what I mean? But anyway, moving on. Yeah, he's flip-flop. Yeah, Danny Kuriaku is flip-flop. And by the way, Danny Kuriaku, it's Mr. Bot's office, right? Yeah? Just so you know. Just so you know. Yeah, it's called Mr. Bot's office TV. Yeah? Mr. Bot's office TV. Yeah? Get it right. Get it right. Anyway, moving on, because you know we were only supposed to do a brief show, but you know people seem to be enjoying it right now, which is why I'm called the Professor of Truth and Entertainment. But you know, it is what it is. Big up to everybody who's watching. Big up to everybody who's watching. By the way, big up to Benji. Benji, you were mad this morning, earlier today. You were mad. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say. You can talk for yourself on that one. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. Anyway, big up to everybody. Big up your damn selves. Big up your damn selves. Yeah, and keep the comments rolling. Keep the comments rolling. Maybe next time I'll get people on. I'll do a panel show, whatever it is, whatever you want to do. You get what I'm saying? But at the moment, Mr. Box Office needs his moment. He needs his moment at the moment. And by the way, turn up for my own show, by the way. Cheeky people. The cheeky people. The cheeky people telling me that I don't turn up for my own show. Cheeky people, boy. What you doing? What are you doing here? Anyway, moving on. Yeah, that's just me introducing myself anyway to people. Keep the comments rolling. And let's balling. And let's moaning. And let's keep it going. Anyway, moving on to what I was saying before, getting back to what I was doing before, flying back to what we were doing, talking about before, I mean. I just think really there's an opportunity for Tottenham just to really get into it, really, with, you know, it's just, I just think for us, we have to take our opportunity right now. We really do. We really, really do. And, you know, we can't talk the talk and not walk the walk anymore. You know, like I said, and I'm sorry if people heard this at the beginning of the show, but I do think that we are one of those, you know, like a man. If you made Tottenham Hotspur a man, that a woman was looking for a man, we'd give them so much potential. And they give us, you know, they'll get so excited. but we always seem to some way to just let us down. You know, we always seen a way to let us down. And that's the problem with Tottenham at the moment. Really is. It really, really, really is. Now, because I don't want to go on too long on this show right now, because it's been more than an hour I've been talking for. I do need to, and I do apologize for these people. What am I apologizing for? Why am I apologizing for a reputation I've already created for myself as a leashing? Why am I apologizing for this? I shouldn't be apologizing for this. No, I'm just going to say it. I think you know where I'm going with this right now. Vicario leaving Tottenham Hotspur. Now, Vicario, is the right decision. Making Anthony Kinski your number one key goalkeeper, though, I ain't happy with it. I ain't happy with it. And I'm not happy. We've got Dubravka. And some of the things I've heard, the excuses about this, is, oh, he needs a mentor. Right? Okay. Why do we need a mentor for him? Is he going to be this guy that we're going to put to the air as number one? And it's like, well, we didn't rate him after that Atletico Madrid game where he made those very major mistakes. But because he's had good 6 games, let's be honest here, good 6 games, we're now saying that he's our number one goalkeeper. We're now saying that he is the goalkeeping position is not the major positions that we need to be looking at right now. And I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, he might be flavour of the month, but really, do we really need to just like at least having a look at the position? Because if you really want to really improve the team, you consider every single position. I remember Emil Martinez for Arsenal. Now he's obviously at Aston Villa. He could be leaving Aston Villa. He won them the FA Cup back then, Aston Villa. For Arsenal, I mean. Arteta's first trophy, by the way. You know what Arsenal did? They let him go. Yeah, okay. Maybe it was premature for Arsenal to let him go. But the point I'm making is they still let him go. Because I said, you know what? We need to move on. We need somebody that's going to actually be number one long term. There's been other opportunities. There's been other things as well. Other goalkeepers as well have been in that same position. Kudicini, for instance, back in the day for Chelsea. You know what they did? Brought in Peter Cech, and Peter Cech taken over. We did it in the past with Brad Friedel. Brad Friedel came in. We brought in Lloris. Reece taken over. Even though Brad Friedel had a good reputation back in the day as well. But all of a sudden now, we're rewriting history because Kinski now, because he saved us from relegation, and he seems to now be the fans' favourite right now. No, we don't need to worry about the goalkeeper. We like Kinski. Kinski's proved himself in 6 games. See the logic? To be fair, this is not my point. Well, I have my concerns, but the person that's been talking about it a lot, that repeats himself a lot about this, is Danny from Hotspur Hood. So this is mainly his point, and he's spot on. And it's like no one really wants to talk about it. It's like the whole thing I discussed with the whole thing with De Zerbi and his faults as well. We don't want to talk about it because he's a great coach. We don't want to talk about Kingsley because they're saying he's proved himself after 6 games. So this is now, and now he's got a new contract, and now De Zerbi has said, he's my number one. This is on De Zerbi. So this has to work for De Zerbi's case. On De Zerbi. It's like the whole thing with the captaincy, which again, I think we have to discuss a little bit later because I think we're getting to the point where we have to wrap up the show soon. But for me, I do feel it's very premature to say, yeah, Kingsley's your number one, and bring in Dubravka, who for me is no different to Vicario, but Vicario is more younger of the two. He's no different to Vicario. No different. No different at all. Big up to everybody's watching. Big up to everybody who's watching. But yeah, this is where I'm at the moment. I know. Oh, Danny boy. I don't want to own you again. Because I'm just gonna own you again. I'm not waffling. It's the truth. And if you think I'm waffling, you waffle most of the time about your manager. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving on. But I do agree with what he's saying here, Dan. Because I looked at this goalkeeper, and I do think we should have had a look at him. I think we missed the opportunity. I've got to be honest. I do think we missed the opportunity. 100%. 100%. We missed the opportunity here, and this is where I'm just not at it at the moment with this whole thing at the moment. I have to be honest. But there you go. There you go. That's where I'm at the moment with this at the moment, with the goalkeeper. I think this is on the manager. And just briefly on the captains. Right, now, I'm not angry with the whole Van der Ven thing. I'm not angry about Van der Ven. I think we're limited about the captains, the people that we could have done captains. I do agree with the whole thing. I wasn't too angry or mad about if it was Tonali. Even though I have the opinion on this guy as Brussels sprouts, Andy Robertson, I wouldn't be too disappointed if it was Andy Robertson. I would have not been too disappointed if it was Conor Gallagher. But Van der Ven, I can probably be a bit like, okay. I'll be okay with, because he's signed a new contract. He's one of our top defenders. I'm okay with. I understand the other side of it, because I don't think he was that great last season, especially second part. I think there's a lot of excuses from him last season, and he didn't really put himself in glory last season. Poor, I think he's just the flavour of the month, the flavour of the year. I've got to be honest. I just think we overhyped this guy. Yes, he had a good World Cup, but it's like, okay, cool. But where's this at Tottenham? You know, I do think he's overhyped. Yes, because he doesn't play in the right way. But there's only so many times you can say that, how many times at Tottenham. So I'm just getting to the point where I'm just thinking, yeah, cool, just prove it to me now. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's got a personality. Yes, he's got a bit of leadership. Don't know. Really don't know. Then you got Ben Davis. What the hell are we doing here? What are we doing here? What are we doing here? Maddison, I've said my piece. He's not fit most of the time. Is he going to play tomorrow? Guess no. Again, missing now, I think that's 71 games. You know, I just don't know. And then we get to the worst one. And I just don't get this. And this is on De Zerbi. Archie freaking Gray. Archie freaking Gray. You know what? Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with this. Like, for me, this is just a terrible decision. And like, for me, this is on the manager right now. If it doesn't work out for him, this is purely on the manager. He should never been in that he should never been in that leadership group. Never, ever, ever been in that leadership group. And now he's putting him in the leadership group now. I'm not looking at him as a youngster anymore. I don't really give a monkeys anymore right now. If he's playing, I want to swear, but I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't want to do. I don't want to crash out right now. I don't want to crash out because this is too early. It's too early. I want to say something. I want to say something. I can't say it. I can't say it. I can't say it. I want to say it. I can't say it. Right. Okay. I want to say it. I can't say it. I say it. I can't say it. I can't say it. I've got to be sensible here. I want to say it. I want to say it. Okay. Arch Gray. I need to see performances from you. Because if you're captaincy, if you're part of a leadership group, you should be setting examples then. So this is on De Zerbi because if he's not part of that leadership group, I can say, yeah, okay, cool. He's still learning. You put him in the leadership group over like someone like Tonali or Andy Robertson, I should now look at him and say, well, mate, you're the senior player now. So now I need to see you like step up. No excuses you're young anymore. Because Zerbi said to you, you're the man. You're the man to step up. You're the man. So like, I don't want to see excuses from this guy. I don't want to hear it. I don't care if he's young. I don't care. You know, this is why I'm saying at the moment. For me, like that was that's not a good decision. And I heard De Zerbi saying, "Oh, this is my captain. It's my choice." Okay, you own that then. If it doesn't work out, it's on you. We live and by the decisions, don't we? We live and by our decisions. That's all I've got to say. That's all I've got to say right now. But yeah, that captaincy thing, okay, I'm okay with it. Certain players, obviously, I'm not happy with. Obviously, I think there are other players that deserve to be there, like Tonali, because he's our big signing of the summer. So I think he should have been. And obviously, the whole point of him going and actually getting him, Deserby, saying that that's my man in midfield. I don't see why we can't do that at the moment. Put him in midfield. I just don't see it. And I think Andy Robertson should have had a shout as well. And I think Gallagher should have had a shout as well. Maybe I actually think that maybe those midfielders, those players, should have been over Van der Ven, because I don't know if Van der Ven is actually right for it at the moment. I just don't think he's right for it. I certainly don't see why Alex Gray and Ben Davis in the leadership group. That's where I'm a bit confused. That's where I'm really confused at the moment. So, yeah, that's where I'm at with this at the moment. This is where I'm at the moment. But that's my thoughts on the leadership group and the captain at the moment. So we've been through the signings of. So just to recap, if you've missed what you've missed on the show today, we spoke about the signing of the impending announcement and signing of Savinho to Tottenham, and the fact that I'm not really too excited about him. We've also spoken about MARMOUSH, who for me is definitely our best striker so far. Definitely will improve our team, but he's got to prove himself as well. GAKPO the same as well. We spoke about Tottenham Hotspur maybe having a slow start, and De Zerbi might have a bit of a struggle because a lot of teams, a lot of managers might have found him out already. We've spoken about that. We've spoken about the departures so far, and one departure that has really helped, which has happened recently, Vicario, and what's happened to replace him with Kinski in goal. And last thing, the very last thing, final thing of the show is my thoughts on the game tomorrow, the first game of the Premier League of the season for Tottenham Hotspur against Brentford away from home. And for me, this is going to be a very tough game. A very tough game for me. Forgetting what's happened in pre-season, because pre-season is pre-season, the form and what's happened in pre-season, I do think we have to isolate that. In isolation of that, I do feel that even though we've got the midfielders that we got in Tonali and Fernandez, and I don't think Poro will be fit for that game. But then you're going to have Archie Gray, and then you're going to have I think we're going to likely to see Robertson and Jan van Heck and Senesi, obviously Kinski in goal. It's that front three that, for me, is going to be clinical in this team for me right now. And I do feel that this is going to be a tough game for Tottenham. And I think the only way that Tottenham are going to win this game is Tottenham Hotspur are very clinical. Defensively very strong, don't give anything away, but also are clinical as well and taking out opportunities. And this is where I think we're going to see how we cope with that right now. I think it's going to be a very slow start. I think Brentford are going to be really up for it. And when I looked at the team potentially that could be playing, Burval might start from what it looks like, which is not tasty at all. So I don't know where he's going to play. Maybe at number 10, possibly. But I would have thought Gallagher would have played in that position, to be honest with you. You're going to have Richarlison, Tell, and it could be Mike. Most likely could be Mike and Moore in the team as well, up front. Then you obviously now got Senesi and Jan Van Heck. Robertson, I think, will be on the left. And then you got Archie Gray. So for me, this is a team that I don't know will be able to go out and win this game. I think it'll be important to see what the subs are going to be like and whether they're going to have an influence. But for me, my prediction, and you can clip this if you want to clip it, it's up to you. Don't care because it's just my opinion. I think Tottenham Hotspurs are going to get a draw at the game. I think it's going to be a score draw. If you want my score, 1-1. That's my score for the game. I had that feeling, and looking at what's happened so far, and the way that pre-season's gone so far, I think Tottenham Hotspurs going to have a slow start. I think the game against Newcastle is going to be crucial to start well, to win at home, get off a good start at home. I think that's where we're going to win our first game, possibly, because of all the problems of Newcastle. And that's where my thoughts on the game tomorrow at Brentford, away from home. What's your thoughts? What's your scores? What's your predictions for scores? Who do you think is going to play? I think we've already got some rumours that are going to happen so far. I think everybody's kind of making it as well. But big up to everybody who's watching. I know people wanted to come on tonight, but it was only going to be solo today because this is why there's been a bit of delay, because obviously Mr. Box Office, the main event's got a life, and it needed to come from myself because I've been on a lot of shows and I don't know if I'm going to be on a lot of shows. I've been trying to calm myself to go on a lot of shows because I wanted to just get it out, what I need to say right now. Hopefully we can have some more new graphics coming soon on the show soon. But also you're going to have to just take this graphic right now. We'll take this sound right now at Mr. Box Office TV. So, yeah, like I said, we're going to be wrapping up soon because it obviously getting very late. And thank you to everybody for watching. Thank you for Mia for the super chat as well. Really big up to her. Big up to everybody who's watching. Thank you for all your comments. And thank you for everyone that's taken part in the show. I know that people were expecting a lot of interaction with the chat, but you know what I'm like. I'm here to make a show. I'm here to talk and do a show and entertain, and that's what I'm here to do. And I've always been like that. And if you want my attention, do what Dan just did. Get my attention. You can send a super chat. You can send a chat. You can send it, whatever you need to do to get my attention. To say something, make yourself known. And that's how you do it. That's how I do the show. And if you can do that, you know what to do. You know how to get me. You know how to get my attention. You know how to get my attention. You know how to get my attention. But big up to everybody in the chat. Big up to everybody who's watching. Big up to everybody who's watching. Yeah, I'm hearing Richie hat trick. You ever laugh? If we give him a hat trick, you know what people are going to be like. You know what the Tottenham Hotspur fans are going to be like. Honestly, bloody hell. Just start saying, "Oh, keep him. He proved us wrong." We really don't want that. We really don't want that. Bloody hell. I've had enough of him. I've had enough of him. Think about it like this, because we're going to wrap up soon. You're paying about £2,500 for your season ticket, and you're getting Rich Charlison as your striker. You say you pay £2,000, over £2,000, £500 for your season ticket, and you got Richarlison as your striker. Make it make sense, guys. Make it make sense. Honestly, bloody hell. Honestly. But back to the show anyway. We're going to be wrapping up the show now because it's getting late. Got a big day tomorrow. I know the Premier League's starting soon, and unfortunately, Arsenal started very well. But I think Arsenal this season have got a free run at it this season because of what's happening with other teams at the moment. They've got a big advantage to retain their title this season, and Coventry City made it easy for them, didn't they? On the day. And on the day where Tottenham Hotspur have made their seventh signing of the summer in Savinho and waiting for it to be completed. On the day that we're getting closer and closer and closer and closer and closer. Not close to the striker, the German striker, but closer to somebody that played in Germany, like closer. MARMOUSH is coming to Tottenham soon. On the day that we thought it was off, the transfer, Cody GAKPO, but it's still on. Because Liverpool might get Barcola at the club, and they're looking for other wingers as well. And on the day, Tottenham Hotspur still got Pape Sarr. When's he leaving? It looks like he's leaving soon, confirmed by our manager, Roberto De Zerbi. And on the day, Danny Kyriakou, you're just deluded, bruv. I'm only joking. I love you, but it's still deluded. And as we all say, Tottenham Hotspur always let you down. I never will let you down, Mr. Box Office TV. Mr. Box Office TV never lets anyone down for the entertainment and the truth bombs on this show. But as always, hope you have a good evening and enjoy the game tomorrow. And hopefully Tottenham Hotspur win and have a good start to the Premier League. But as always, as we finish off this show, you know how it goes. If you didn't know, get to know. Support your boy, Mr. Box Office. Subscribe and like. And come on, you Spurs. And I'm out. Goodbye.